The moment I stepped onto my front lawn, grocery bags in hand, a man in a cheap security uniform jabbed a finger at my driveway and bellowed, "You're trespassing on HOA property!" I froze, wondering if I'd stumbled into some bizarre alternate reality. 5 minutes later, my sister, a real detective, was coolly asking if his shiny fake badge came from a cereal box. By the time she snapped the cuffs on him in front of the entire neighborhood, he was practically sobbing, and the crowd couldn't stop whispering. This wasn't just a driveway dispute, it was a showdown that exposed lies, shattered egos, and left our quiet suburb buzzing with controversy. We'd only been in Maple Grove for 4 days when trouble started. The neighborhood seemed perfect, neat lawns, friendly waves, and streets so quiet you could hear the sprinklers. My dad called it the dream retirement spot, and my sister, Emily, joked it felt like a TV sitcom set where nothing ever went wrong. That illusion shattered fast. Enter Linda Harper, the HOA board's self-appointed queen. With her sharp blonde bob and a voice that could crack glass, Linda ruled Maple Grove like a dictator. "Park your car an inch off center?" She'd materialize with a clipboard, citing you for visual disruption. She was insufferable, but she wasn't the real problem. That honor belonged to her boyfriend, Carl Benson. Carl strutted into our lives like he'd been cast as the lead in a low-budget cop show. Dressed in a faded security guard outfit, complete with mirrored sunglasses and a badge labeled Community Safety Officer, he acted like Maple Grove's personal sheriff. No one knew who'd hired him, the HOA had no official security, and Carl's sun-bleached Ford Mustang with a taped-on light bar didn't exactly scream legitimacy. The first week, he knocked on our door, introducing himself as Carl Benson, private security consultant. He scanned our yard like we were smuggling contraband behind the rose bushes. Emily, who was visiting, blinked hard, as if trying to confirm this wasn't a prank. Things escalated fast. Carl started issuing citations, Word documents with the HOA logo, accusing people of absurd violations like excessive wind chimes or overly vocal pets. Nobody challenged him. Linda backed his every move, and most neighbors just wanted peace. But the real chaos hit during the annual HOA block party, Maple Grove's biggest event, barbecues, bounce houses, the works. Linda ran the planning committee, and Carl declared himself chief of event security. Overnight, he turned the party into a military operation. The morning of the event, I woke to find 3 orange cones blocking my driveway. My car was in the garage, so I figured it was a mistake. Coffee in hand, I stepped outside to find Carl guarding the cones like a self-proclaimed king. "What's this about?" I asked. He pointed at my driveway with a clipboard. "Restricted for emergency access. HOA Protocol 7C. I'd read the HOA handbook cover to cover. There was no Protocol 7C. When I asked to see it, he waved his clipboard like it was the Constitution. "Park on Elm Street. This is for VIPs." I raised an eyebrow. "VIPs like who?" He smirked. "Me. Security needs quick access to the event core." I stared. "You're blocking my driveway so you can get to the hot dogs faster?" He didn't laugh. Instead, he handed me a citation for obstructing HOA operations. It was printed in Arial font, no less. That afternoon, Emily swung by with a soda and a warning. "I saw Linda's ex post bragging about official security. This is suburban tyranny." I told her about the cones and Carl's driveway dictatorship. She grinned. "Let's see how this plays out." Dressed in jeans and a hoodie, she strolled to the party like any other guest. Carl pounced immediately, demanding her event wristband. Emily played along, saying she lived here. He asked for ID. She tilted her head. "Are you a cop?" Carl tapped his fake badge. "I'm the liaison between HOA security and local PD." Emily nodded, letting him ramble about perimeter sweeps and crowd control. I could see her plotting. That smile meant Carl's world was about to implode. The party was in full swing, Kids with balloon swords, tables piled with casseroles, Linda parading in a sash labeled Event Director, like she was at a beauty pageant. Carl had set up a command post under a canopy, complete with caution tape and a walkie-talkie he probably stole from a kid's toy set. Then he upped the ante. When I tried to move my car, I found my driveway blocked again, this time with cones and a folding chair. Carl sat there, sipping from a thermos. Driveway's closed for security staging, he said, like I was interrupting a SWAT mission. Park on Pine. I sighed. That's 4 blocks away. He tapped his clipboard. Event policy. Authorized personnel only. I could have argued, but Emily's plan was brewing. I backed off, knowing something better was coming. Emily reappeared, blending into the crowd. Carl spotted her and swooped in. This is a restricted event. Where's your pass? She pulled out her phone. Which HOA rule says I need one? He faltered. Internal protocol. You wouldn't know it. She smiled. And who authorized you to block driveways? Carl puffed up. The board. It's standard procedure. Emily's voice stayed calm. Mind if I record this? Carl froze. You media? Just curious, she said. Linda, watching from the grill, nodded at Carl like a mob boss giving the green light. That's when he made his fatal mistake. He flashed a laminated card that looked like a dollar store badge and said, I'm with HOA enforcement. I can detain anyone causing a disturbance. Emily's posture shifted, subtle, but deadly. She asked, What agency are you with? Got a license to enforce municipal code? Carl didn't flinch, spinning lies about community training and special HOA permissions. She let him dig his hole deeper. Then, at his command post, he pointed to his badge and said, This gives me detention rights under neighborhood law. Emily reached into her hoodie, pulled out her real detective badge, and held it up. Then we've got a problem, Carl. The crowd went silent. Carl's jaw dropped. He stepped back, stammering. Emily's voice was ice. You're impersonating an officer. You claimed detention powers, flashed a fake badge, and blocked residents' driveways. That's multiple state law violations. Linda stormed over, face twitching. This is harassment. You can't just accuse him. Emily turned. And you are? I'm on the HOA board. Linda snapped. I authorized this security. Emily didn't blink. So you approve someone with no credentials to impersonate a cop? She played back her recording of Carl's claims. Linda's face collapsed. Neighbors edged closer, phones out, filming. Someone whispered, She's got him. Emily called for backup. Detective Emily Carter, badge 2391. Need a patrol unit. Possible impersonation of a peace officer. Carl panicked. Wait, can we talk? Emily's reply was stone cold. Talk to the officers. When the real cops arrived, the block was a circus. Carl's bravado melted. He mumbled about community spirit. But the officers weren't impressed. They asked for his badge, ID, licensing, nothing. He admitted the badge was from a costume shop. The cuffs clicked, and Linda lost it, screaming, This is defamation! As Carl was led away, sunglasses slipping, live streamed on the Neighborhood X group. But Linda wasn't done. She circled the party, yelling about outsiders ruining Maple Grove. She even demanded Emily's arrest for entrapment. The officer, clearly done with HOA nonsense, said, Ma'am, impersonating an officer is a felony. He confessed on camera. That's not entrapment, that's idiocy. Then came the twist. Carl's citation book surfaced, 30 pages of fake violations, complete with fine amounts payable to Linda's P.O. box. The crowd erupted. One neighbor shouted, I got a ticket for my gnome. Another had video of Carl pulling him over with a flashlight. Linda backpedaled, claiming she knew nothing, but the evidence was damning. Neighbors shared texts, emails, even a receipt for Carl's $150 walkie-talkies, bought with HOA funds. The cops took notes, hinting at fraud charges. Linda burst into tears, clinging to Carl as he was loaded into the cruiser, sobbing. "He was protecting us!" The crowd snickered, and Linda fled to her house, slamming the door. Emily didn't gloat. She just grabbed a burger and said, "I came for the food." The party resumed, but the vibe had shifted. Neighbors thanked Emily, some joking she should run the HOA. She laughed. "I'd rather chase robbers." The next week, Maple Grove was reborn. At an emergency HOA meeting, Silent Tom, a guy who once hushed a bird, moved to oust Linda. It was unanimous. Her reign, built on cones, fake tickets, and crayon-signed minutes, crumbled. The new president, a laid-back IT guy named Jake, promised potlucks, not power trips. Carl faced charges and was last seen picking trash in a neon vest. Linda became a ghost, spotted once muttering at a grocery store scanner. "My driveway? It's mine again. Every time I park, I smile, not because Carl lost, but because that patch of pavement became a battlefield where fake power met real justice." Emily still waves when she drives by. We don't talk about it much, but Maple Grove remembers. The cones are gone, the gnomes are back, and the neighborhood feels alive again. What do you think? Was Emily's takedown pure justice, or did she push too far? Should neighbors have confronted Carl and Linda sooner? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and let's debate. Is a little trolling fair play when dealing with HOA tyrants? Hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more real-life drama.